Do you own a town in Texas?
Technically, I do own a town. I am the mayor of the town of Cornudas, Texas. So it's right next to Guadalupe Mountain National Park, which is an awesome tourist destination for people who want to go hiking and whatnot. So it's going to be kind of a mix between like a rest stop and a tourist destination.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode. All right, Jon Jasniak here today. We're talking land, we're talking subdivisions, and you are a petroleum engineer as well, right?
I was, yeah. Technically, I guess still by trade.
What was that like?
Dude, I tell people, that's kind of what got me started into real estate is like, I was a petroleum engineer. I didn't dislike engineering. I was drilling oil wells. So making a bunch of money, drilling oil wells. I was in West Texas, working the rigs, but just kind of knew that the 9-to-5 grind wasn't for me. And so that's kind of what transitioned me to real estate. I wanted to do something without a ceiling, be my own, business owner, and have the freedom that comes with that. So that's kind of what got me into the game, I would say, of land.
Right, and out there in Texas, there's tons of land.
Yeah, there is so much land in Texas. I don't know how many millions of acres there are, but it's vast.
And when it comes to like purchasing it, do you go on a website? How does that work?
Yeah, so actually my first land purchase was on a website. It would have been back in late 2016. I bought 53 acres in Hudspeth County, Texas, which I still do a lot of work in today. And I bought 53 acres for $8,500.
Wow.
So it was like $1,500 an acre. I bought it from some guy in Florida who was selling Texas land. And you get a lot of that in the land investing, land flipping niche, like people out of state selling random pieces of land. So I'm negotiating with this guy and buying 53 acres for $8,500. And I found it on landwatch.com. I buy this thing and it already came subdivided, this piece, into 10-acre lots, 5 of them. And I sold them off within like 3 months.
Wow.
And doubled my money. And 8,500 into 17 G's, and that's kind of the very beginning of Jazz Land and my whole land journey, and it just snowballed from there. I just have since ramped it up and now doing a lot bigger projects, obviously.
Yeah, you've done over 10 million, right? $10 million.
Yeah, I've done well over $10 million. It's close to 1,000 transactions now in the land space, probably close to 10,000 acres. I'm pretty excited. Actually, yesterday, I just signed a contract for 640 acres in Gaines County, Texas. We're buying it for $736,000, so it's like $1,150 per acre. And I'm gonna subdivide it into 10-acre lots and sell it off.
Wow. So what exactly is subdivision? What's the process for that, and why does it make it more valuable?
Yeah. So in the land space, there's really 2 main niches, I would say. You got your land flipping, which is buying a random piece of land, like my first deal in the middle of nowhere, and flipping it for double or triple your money. And then you got the subdividing game, which is what I love because you can do it at scale. It's going in, buying, it could only be 20 or 30 acres, but oftentimes what I do is I go in and buy 100, 200, 500 acres and subdivide it down into smaller lots. And just that simple breaking down of the acreage allows it to become a lot more affordable for people, and it's a huge value add. So, I'm buying this land, for example, for $1,150 per acre. When I subdivide it to 10-acre lots, it'll probably be worth $3,000 an acre.
Wow.
So, close to triple just from breaking it down into smaller acres. Now, when you're breaking it down, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. That's the whole art and the whole game of subdividing and what I do and what I teach and help others with. But that's really the crux of it, just adding value, smaller lots.
And when you're looking for land to buy, is there anything specific in terms of area or like type of land you're looking for?
Yeah, I love outside of city limits. So I think you've had maybe like Cole or some other guests on before where they're attacking these large development projects like inside of a major city. And what you run into is it becomes extremely difficult to get approvals, get permits, the amount of time, the amount of engineering that is involved with something like that. So I'm a huge proponent of keeping it simple. I love outside of city limits, 0 to little restrictions. Most of my work is in Texas, but we have people doing it all over Tennessee, Virginia, Michigan. You can basically do this any part of the country, anywhere, but outside of city limits, a large chunk of land where the county
Shout out to today's sponsor, Factor. Factor's got delicious, ready-to-eat meals that make eating better every single day. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals. Guys, they got over 35 different options a week, so you could definitely find something you like. They got vegan, they got keto, they got veggie, they got a lot of meat, whatever you guys are in the mood for. They got 2-minute meals, fuel up fast, they're restaurant quality. All you gotta do is heat them up. You don't gotta do anything else, no cooking, none of that. They also got snacks, smoothies, and more, and they got a wide variety of easy options for the day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. They've done the math, guys. This is actually less expensive than takeout, and all their meals, like I said earlier, are dietitian approved, so they're nutritious and delicious. It's the perfect solution if you're looking for fast meals. It's flexible for your schedule. You could choose between 6 to 18 meals per week. No prep, guys. Definitely check it out. factormeals.com/DSH50 for 50% off your order. That's a big discount, guys. factormeals.com/DSH50. Check them out.
In the States, make it easy for you to subdivide it. And there's a lot of loopholes, actually, that allow this to take place, such as Texas. There's a good 10-acre loophole where if you break it down into acreage and keep it 10 plus acres, you're what they call plat exempt. And basically all I need to do, like on this deal, for example, is run a surveyor out there, say, hey, this is how I want to break it out. I just pull up Google Earth, do a little screenshot, little polygons on how I want the land to look, send it to him or her, run out there. This one will probably cost me 10, 20 G's. They'll stake off all the lots, create a nice little map. Every lot gets its own map, and it's basically ready to sell.
Wow.
And some people hear that, they're like, no rezoning, no entitlements, no engineering. And this deal, you know, it'll be probably a $2 million deal. We've done them as high as $4 or $5 million.
Dang.
And you don't have to go through any city approvals, any town halls, any crazy engineers, like getting permits or rezoned, none of that. So this is, I think, probably the next like blue ocean strategy in real estate, just because it's stupid easy right now. But if you're asking me, I don't think it's going to be like that forever. Right? As things get kind of too good to be true, so to speak, governments, regulatory agencies, all that type of stuff kind of start to step in and try and get their hand in the pot, you know?
Absolutely. So is land similar to real estate where there's like a few big players, or is it kind of more even?
I'd say it's more even. Land is very much a niche still. There's a lot more people entering the space because you got coaches and quote-unquote gurus out there teaching and coming on podcasts like this. Funny story, I actually found out about land investing on a podcast like yours. Some guy like me came on, started talking about, you know, buying a lot for $5,000 and selling it off on owner financing, which I am a huge proponent of. Like a big thing that people think about land is like it can't cash flow. But when you sell it off to a customer like I do for $500 a month or $1,000 a month for 5 or 10 years, like I got a lot of cash flow coming in every month.
Interesting.
And so it's created this niche where you don't have any institutional players like your BlackRocks or anything like that, hedge funds dabbling in this space yet. But you got a lot of people like myself and a lot of beginners and intermediate people coming in because it's simple. You can start with little to no capital. And there's so much land all over. The barrier to entry is so small. So it's getting more saturated, but it's very much still a niche in a very unique sense, and that no other form of real estate is quite like land, I don't think. It's just so easy and such a niche now.
Will banks let you take a loan out against it?
They will, but it's hard.
Okay.
Because they're going to want, 20, 30, 40% down.
Are you interested in coming on the Digital Social Hour podcast as a guest? Well, click the application link below in the description of this video. We are always looking for cool stories, cool entrepreneurs to talk to about business and life. Click the application link below, and here's the episode, guys.
And they're not going to really want to lend against like that first deal I bought, like a $8,500 piece in the desert. Like a bank's not really going to want to mess with that. You can probably go get a personal loan on it, but they're not going to really be interested in taking that as collateral. Now, the bigger subdivide projects, I don't use bank funding personally. I use a lot of private money and seller financing, a lot of creative finance, which is, I think, unique in a sense of what I do there. But the banks will lend on the larger pieces, but they make it hard for you to subdivide it and do what you need to do. Because when you start selling it off to people, like what happens to the bank? You need to either get a partial release from them, special documentation that says you can sell 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lots. You need to get them paid off.
Right.
Most of the times they're going to have like what's called a due on sale clause in there. And so when you start selling off the land, boom, it's going to trigger the note due, and you're going to owe your $500,000 or $1 million. There's not a lot of lenders who are friendly to the subdivision aspect of land.
Got it. When it comes to finding buyers for land, how difficult is that?
Dude, the buyer part, I think, to me, it's the most exciting and maybe the easiest part of the business.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I mean, the demand for land right now, if you ask me, is sky high. Like, I urge anyone out there just to go to like a Google keyword search and just, how to buy land, like, land investing. You're going to see over time, especially with the pandemic and the economic situation and kind of political unrest that we're in now today, especially in a large part of the country and different parts of the world, people want to own land because they want something that's theirs. They can, preferably no restrictions, go out there, have livestock, store stuff, affordable housing on it. And so the demand is skyrocketing. Personally, I like to use Facebook. We do, probably hundreds of thousands in ads on Facebook, certainly tens of thousands a year on Facebook Marketplace. Real estate and Facebook Marketplace is extremely underrated. I don't know why more people are not using the marketplace and boosting their ads on the marketplace and just geo-targeting to wherever their land or their house or apartment, whatever they're just trying to sell or lease, to that geo-targeted market. The marketplace is just absolutely crushing it on Facebook.
Wow, people are buying houses on Facebook Marketplace?
Houses, land, all sorts of junk. Like the marketplace, the arbitrage on marketplace is insane.
That is interesting. I thought they were just buying like $50 items you throw out.
No, that's 95% of my buyers come from marketplace. And what's crazy, a little gold nugget for the audience is what people don't know is marketplace actually has like a built-in CRM where you can see everyone who messaged you on a marketplace listing, and you can go back a month or 2 months later and just hit view messages, view buyers, select all the people who messaged you on a piece of land or whatever it is, and just boom, ping them and say, hey, I got another 10 acres coming in this area. Are you interested? And it'll instantly shoot it out to 100, 200 people.
Dang, that's actually fire.
Yep.
That's like an email blast, but Messenger, the open rates are like probably...
That's what I tell people when you have a marketplace or your real estate listing, especially with land, never take it down. Leave your land listing up, even if you've already sold it, because I have leads trickling in every single day.
Smart.
Do you still have land in Andrews, Texas? Do you still have land in Abilene, Texas? I'm interested in this lot. I'm like, no, it's sold. Sorry, I have more coming soon. But boom, now they go into the pre-built in Facebook CRM. I'm just messaging them later when I get another project in the area.
I love that. Do you own a town in Texas?
Technically, I do own a town. I am the mayor of the town of Cornudas, Texas, which is about 50 miles east of El Paso.
Nice.
In the middle of the West Texas desert. Hudspeth County, which is where I did my first land deal and my first subdivision, actually. So I guess it's like a second home to me.
That's cool. How did that deal happen?
Cornudas came about in 2022. I saw a listing on Facebook. Someone sent it to me, and it was like, hey, there's a town for sale in Hudspeth County, Texas. I'm looking at this listing. It's got like thousands of comments and like 1,000 shares just from a random Facebook post. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of shares. A lot of people are interested. They're asking like 500,000 for it on Facebook. And so I'm like, this is early 2022. I'm running my land business, plugging away. I'm in Fort Worth, so Cornudas is an 8.5-hour drive into the desert of Texas. Like, nothing out there. Man, this is really interesting. If I want to become the known person in land, like the go-to land guru, so to speak, like what better opportunity than to own a town? And so I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, how can I actually pull this off? It's in the middle of nowhere. In the 20 to 30 mile radius, you probably got 100 or 200 people who live out there in Hudspeth County. It's very cheap land. You're talking $400 or $500 an acre, 900 foot to water. You can't really drill a well. Hard to get power. Nothing around. And so I'm like, how am I actually going to get people to work at this town, manage it? How can I actually pull this off? So it kind of lingered until late 2022. I'm like, let's go out and check this thing out. And so I took my dad out there. We went just round trip straight out from Fort Worth. And we go out there, and I show up, and it's like a ghost town. There's no one there. I walk in, there's a cafe, a convenience store, a motel, a 6-spot RV park, and a few mobile homes on the property. It's 28 acres. And I walk in the cafe, and the owner and his mom are there. And they manage it and run it. And, I'm looking around. I don't see anyone in there. I'm like, okay, I'm John. I want to hit you up. I want to see the property. So we go for a whole ride around the property. And this guy wanted me to do like a handshake, meet at the courthouse, and bring him a cashier's check, like sight unseen, no inspections. Like, I'll never forget. I was asking him, can I get a water sample from the water well?
Yeah.
Make sure it's like not contaminated with like radon or environmental waste or anything. And he's like, you can, but I'll shoot you. And I was like, holy crap.
What the heck?
Yeah. So me and my dad leave this place. I'm like, I really want to buy this sucker. And he was telling me, like, this guy, he's crazy. Like, there's no way you're going to buy this. Like, there could be so many problems. And it lingers on for a month or so. We're going back and forth. Turns out he was behind in back taxes. And he was going to be foreclosed on the property. And we did all the research on that. I almost bought the tax lien on it. But we ended up working it out. And it ended up being a purchase of the town, sight unseen, basically, except for my one tour of the property. No inspections, no nothing, a straight cash deal. I've never disclosed the price, but it was less than the original asking of $500. And
I hope so with the water story.
Yeah. And the well it's a 900-foot well, and it does 2 gallons per minute.
And it wasn't contaminated?
It wasn't contaminated. The water actually is pretty good. It's a little hard, a lot of dissolved solids, but it runs into a 2,000-gallon tank, 900 foot from the ground, that services the whole property.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. So we'll eventually probably have to drill another well out there, but right now it's holding up pretty well, and we ended up getting the transaction closed. And since then, it's been a year now since I bought it in January 2023, and it's been me and my small team out there every other week, just about roofing, concrete jobs, cleaning the cafe. We just got done repairing the entire kitchen, new drywall, new walling. It was rotted out they used to have old swamp coolers in there, and there was water damage in the roof, and we had to, I think I'm $500,000 into it right now.
Damn.
Just straight out of pocket trying to put it back together.
So what's your goal with it?
So it's right next to Guadalupe Mountain National Park, which is an awesome tourist destination for people who want to go hiking and whatnot. So it's going to be kind of a mix between like a rest stop and a tourist destination. I really want to make it like the spot on the map, like worldwide, world known. They're famous for their burgers, their Cornudas burger, which was a green chili burger. So we're bringing that back. And it has so much potential. Short-term rentals out there for folks at the park, folks who want to just get away from the city, and then passerbys and even locals who want to come eat at the cafe. We're going to be flipping burgers and kind of revamp menu. And, it has a ceiling to it for sure, because it's only so big unless I start buying land around it.
Right.
But I think it could be a $500,000 to $1 million a year property.
Nice.
With pretty high margins. So that's kind of the goal for it.
Interesting. So you're technically a mayor right now.
I'm technically a mayor. My ops manager wants to be the sheriff. Shout out to Brian. He's like, if we ever do a sheriff, I'm going to be the sheriff. But we had a guy it's funny because we get the politicians and stuff coming through. I had a congressman's office out there. There's a new sheriff, and there's a sheriff election, and a guy who's running to be new sheriff in Hudspeth County stopped by the other day. He's like, hey, can I put up my sign and whatnot on the fence? It's like, yeah, sure. So it's kind of, it has a good following.
Wow.
People are interested in what's going on out there.
Yeah, because you made it go viral on your YouTube. I saw a lot of the videos. Some of them had 100,000 views.
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram had a massive reel that went viral. We almost got kind of like a little TV deal out of it. We were going back and forth with like TV networks and stuff, trying to figure out how and if we can do it. Didn't really pan out. Turned out that the TV business is a lot harder and weirder and more complicated to get into than people might realize. But yeah, it's got a lot of attention, long story short.
Wow. I thought it was, so did they want money or something? It was just too complicated, the TV network?
They wanted money. They wanted me to sign some things that were very kind of what we thought were kind of restrictive, as far as like, I want to do my own stuff, which you have seen on YouTube, Instagram, all this. So it just turned into way too much legal back and forth. Could we have gotten it done? Probably, but it was just like, this is at this point too much time and energy than I can put into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sacrifice my own choice. That's a concern with the podcast. I never want sponsors to like tell me what to do.
Yeah, and because this, like YouTube and just social media nowadays, like you don't need TV. Just go straight to the end consumer, and you can build a massive following, massive audience, massive monetization.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just got my first strike on YouTube actually, though.
Dang.
Yeah, so I got to be careful the next 3 months.
That's
you only get 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah. I'm just starting my YouTube. That's one thing that I wish I could go back. I've always been kind of focused on Instagram, but if I could redo it, for sure YouTube. I mean, now I'm growing at like 1,500 followers a month, and I've only been doing it like 3 months.
Nice.
I'm like, if I would have been doing this the entire 2-3 years I was doing Instagram, like who knows, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube is just so massive.
That's how I feel too. YouTube's the most important one in my opinion, especially for long form videos. Yep. So I'm going all in on YouTube. I'm spending the most there actually right now.
Yeah, it's a good platform, and I saw some statistic not too long ago. It was like users, I don't know how accurate it was users for Instagram and YouTube. YouTube was like double the users of Instagram actually, which I don't know how accurate that is, but it's kind of crazy to think about it because we all use both platforms, but to actually conceptualize that YouTube is substantially bigger than Instagram and some of the other platforms is crazy.
And the audience is more, I don't know the word, but I just feel like there's more value in the audience there.
Yeah, they're more interested in learning. They're more interested in long form, staying connected, following you, seeing what you got going on.
Yeah, there's some straight degeneracy on Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of negativity. Like I'll post the same exact clip on both, and Instagram, all negative comments.
Interesting.
YouTube, it's all positive.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's super weird. I don't know. TikTok's kind of negative too, I noticed.
That's one thing I've not gotten into yet is TikTok. But from the land investing and real estate space, YouTube is super powerful, obviously, because I can fire up, a how-to video on YouTube and absolutely crush it. And what we're getting into now with real estate is there's so many people entering the space that having a personal brand and building a personal brand is becoming more and more important than ever.
Yeah.
Because you get more realtors, brokers, whoever entering, and they don't know how to use social media. If you do know how to use social media and do simple ads and content, like you're just going to blow them away.
Absolutely. It gives you a huge edge. Look at Grant Cardone.
Yes.
He raised what, 2-3 billion from social media?
That's what I always tell people. I want to be the Grant Cardone of land, just because that dude's so inspiring to be able to raise money like that. Just imagine if I could do that from the land side.
Yeah.
With those returns, it'd be absolutely crazy.
It's wide open. I mean, you got to be already top of the field for land, right?
I'm trying. I'm getting there. I would like to think so, but I don't know. There's a few of us players doing it and doing it big. We're helping a lot of people, and it's gotten a lot of attention, the land niche, just because I think it has the highest returns in real estate. It is certainly the simplest form of real estate, I think, to do, just flipping a piece of land.
Yeah.
And, from a pure IRR return on your money perspective, I think it is bar none the top of the line in real estate.
Yeah, because you mentioned some of your deals you doubled up in a few months with houses. You're not doing that for years.
Yeah, exactly. A double is bare minimum for me. Like usually 3 to 5x.
Damn.
Is what we're looking at, especially when you get into subdividing, just because the amount of arbitrage there, man, is insane. Because this Gaines County piece is a great example. The one I just signed a contract for, like, there's no telling how long that thing was on the market.
Right.
Certainly over 6 months. You can get these larger pieces of land that are very illiquid, and it takes a very specific person like myself or some other investor, subdivider, to come in, purchase this piece, and then do the subdivision and sell it all off and actually manage the business. So we're running into a giant arbitrage where a liquid land, you can lowball them. A lot of my deals actually come from the MLS, which is crazy.
Wow.
A lot of real estate folks, I'm sure you talk to them, they're sending direct mail, cold calling, SMS texting, et cetera. But the MLS has so much opportunity for large pieces of land, but not as much so for the smaller pieces. Because when you list a small piece of land on the MLS, $8,500, 10 grand, if it's a deal, most people can afford that. And so it moves quick. The velocity is high.
Yeah.
But the larger pieces, who's going to come out of pocket $600,000, $700,000, $1 million bucks.
Right.
And then they got to work with a bank. Is a bank going to lend on it? It's just, there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah. So you're playing at the 6-7 figure level now.
Yeah. Six figure minimum usually. Just because it does take time, energy. I have a team, a small team, and I want to have hyper focus on what works and what generates the highest returns and is able to scale me. My goal is a $100 million land business. So to get there, I need to do multi-million dollar deals. That's the path forward, I think.
So the next step is raising money then.
It is, yeah. I've started raising some money. I'm fascinated with creative finance. Pace Morby talks a lot about it from the housing side, obviously, and some others. I'm super fascinated by it from the land side. A lot of our stuff we do with seller financing, we'll go to owners and say, hey, we're going to give you 10, 15% down, and we're going to use a creative deed of trust or mortgage that removes the due on sale clause and allows me to subdivide it and sell it off while I'm paying you. So I'll get a seller on a 5 to 10 year note, and then I'll arbitrage this and subdivide it down, and while I'm paying the seller, I'm finding my own buyers, whether they're cash or a lot of owner financing, and I'm selling it off to my people, and I'm just scraping the net in between. And so that's how you can get to the massive returns.
Yeah, you're just facilitating at that point.
Pretty much. And we have a special clause in there where, okay, someone gives me cash, I need to go to the seller and get 10 out of 100 acres free and clear. We just write the seller a prorated check for whatever is left on their note and deliver a deed to our buyers, basically. And then when a seller is like, no, man, I want to be cashed out, which a lot of sellers do. They want cash for their land today, which is understandable. Sometimes it creates a tax situation for them. Sometimes I'm thinking, like, what else are they going to be doing with that money? I'm about to give this guy $500K cash. Why would he not finance it to me and earn 7, 8, 10% interest? But people want their money. So when that happens, we find I've started raising private money. To your point, we find private investors to come in and step into the seller's shoes, and basically seller finance it back to me, and I just pay that private money guy. It's usually 16 to 18%.
Damn,
which is a hefty return for an investor.
Yeah, that's
right,
insane.
And they're collateralized by the land, which then allows me to go do my thing. But the returns that I'm seeing are so significant that I can afford to, give a private person 16 to 18%.
That's like unheard of, dude. That's higher than hard money.
Yes.
Hard money is like what, 12%, 15?
Yeah, and for those out there, if you're trying to raise money or private, hard, whatever it is, like just Facebook groups are a great resource. I mean, you got to find those 3, 4, 5 folks who can really understand your business and help you out with money, raising funds, lending, etc. But Facebook groups, just search private money lending, hard money lending. Like some of these nationwide groups are 40, 50K.
Yeah.
People, and there's people, I always tell people finding the deal is the hard part. Raising the money is a lot easier actually than you expect. In real estate, if you have a good deal and you can explain that to a potential investor, the money is actually easier to find than you think.
I mean, yeah, if you're giving people 18%, it's not that hard to close them, I think, especially in this economy.
Yeah. So there's so much opportunity out there in the subdividing space, and even just the land flipping space is continuing to blow up. I mean, owner financing and creating passive income. I mean, I'm sure you know this. I'm not sure there's actual true passive income. Nowadays. It's subjective, right? Yeah, because no one's really just sitting on their butt and collecting a check or wires without any work.
Yeah.
You still need to manage. You still need to, account for things. And so I'm a huge passive income guy. Like I love monthly payments when I sell land, but I wouldn't call it passive. Like it's still an active business. Managing those customers. What if someone stops paying me? How do I get the land back? Do I need to resell it? All that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to structure my investments around passive income, but it's not passive no matter what you do.
What's the most passive income
I used to have this AI. We'll talk about AI. That was like an auto trader.
Okay.
And it was doing amazing for 10 months, making 10% a month. And then it just got wrecked one day because
it broke.
Some news in the market it couldn't predict.
Oh, dang.
But are you using any AI with your stuff right now?
A little bit, especially for my coaching stuff from a CRM perspective, automation, simple AI. AI is good. It's powerful. Real estate, I think it's still in the very beginning stages, at least from what I've seen. I see a future where AI comes in and is handling paperwork, handling transactions, handling title search, just completely seamlessly streamlining all this stuff from a real estate perspective. But it's not there yet. And I've actually found huge power in people are fascinated by AI, obviously, for good reason. But as more and more people go towards the AI niche and space and focused on AI, I've actually kind of transitioned to more human focus, more human touch. People, messaging me, I'm interacting with them personally. We've experimented with AI with customers and stuff, and they were pretty easily able to pick up that it was a bot, after. So I don't think it's there yet, but it has a lot of potential. But I do think you need to learn AI, because if you don't learn it and get familiar with it, you're just going to get blown away.
Yeah.
When it does hit its, exponential ramp, if you're not there, it's just going to pass you by.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Do you plan on launching a course or community for this? Because you could run that up for sure.
Oh, yeah, we already have it. We have the course, we have the community, and there's some big-time deals being done in there, which is crazy. When I first started, I was not envisioning students doing 7-figure deals.
7-figure deal?
7-figure, 6-figure subdivides.
Damn.
We've had some real successes in there, so it's kind of humbling. Sometimes I get imposter syndrome. I'm I've been able to do it in Texas, but now we got people doing it Virginia, Colorado, Michigan, kind of nationwide. So yeah, there's a lot of good information out there. Any sort of real estate, man, YouTube, university, or paid courses, you can make so much money. There's so many different ways to make money in real estate right now. It's insane.
Dude, I know someone I get his land courses every day. I forgot his name.
Who is it? I probably know him.
If you said it, I would know it. I don't know the name, but I get it every day.
Yeah.
It's land flipping mastery or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few OGs out there, your Jack Bosches, your Land Academies,
I think it was Jack. Yeah,
Land
Jack.
Profit Generator.
Yeah.
He's big, man.
He must be doing tens of millions off that course.
Yeah, some of these guys have huge education programs, but what I found is they're still very much focused on the flipping aspect of land, which is becoming extremely saturated. It's not quite to the house wholesaling level yet.
Yeah.
But I hear it all the time, the amount of direct mail you need to send out now. It used to be 200, 300, 400 pieces of direct mail. You got a deal in land. It was insane. It was like printing money. Nowadays, I think the average going statistic is probably 1 in 3,000.
Damn.
So it's like 10x competition on direct mail. So now you got people setting up CRMs, going to SMS, cold calling, texting these landowners saying, hey, I want to buy your land. And so as more and more people come into that, I'm like, nope, screw that. Like, I'm going to where there's no competition.
Right.
Bigger deals.
You got the
Subdividing
foresight.
SEO.
Yeah. Wow. So people actually mailed letters and it worked?
Oh, yeah. We still mail letters today, not as much, but you will still have success. Like, just direct to landowners, straight blind offers. I want to buy your land, 10 acres for $20,000, and it's worth, 40 or 50.
Damn. That's impressive. SMS must be doing well because the open rates are like 95%.
It is, yeah. And using them in tandem too, like sending a mailer and then following up with, hey, did you get my direct mail? Right. I'm interested in buying your land.
Yeah, that is a good method. And it's pretty cheap to send those texts too, right?
It is, yeah. Less than a penny at least is what we pay for our stuff and our CRM for our course.
That's cool. And you've closed some deals through text? I
actually don't use text. I've gotten to the point where brokers and stuff will bring deals to me, which is pretty unique, just because I'm pretty well known in Texas. So they'll bring me deals, and landowners sometimes will hit me up, usually asking way too much for their land. Like, hey, I got this piece. Can we work together? Can you subdivide this? And it's like, well, I want to, but I usually buy this at like 60, 70 cents on the dollar, and you want 90 to 100 cents on the dollar. So there's working through that issue. But direct mail, it's all good. I'm actually a big proponent of MLS, just finding stuff, bigger projects on the MLS, because people have become way too obsessed with SMS, direct mail, and they don't even look on the MLS anymore. It's like land.com, Zillow, realtor.com. Those are kind of the three main ones. I'm on there every single day looking for deals. I
met some solid people on Zillow. I was house shopping. I met LeBron James' old teammate out here. You never know who you're going to meet off these sites, to be honest.
They were selling on Zillow?
Yeah, he was selling his house.
Whew.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. His high school teammate, they're still super close.
Okay.
But yeah, I met some cool people there. We got to wrap up, but anything you want to promote, close off with?
Man, I just want to help as many people buy a piece of land. So jonjasniak.com/land. All my stuff is there, free. Jon Jasniak on all social media. I'm obsessed with looking at deals. So if anyone has a land deal and wants a free look, free opinion, send it my way. I don't know, like that's literally what I do at night when I can't sleep. I'm just on my phone scrolling. This is a deal, this isn't a deal, like underwriting in my head. So I'm obsessed.
That's why you're successful, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.